everyone, Cheryl here today with Kadoodlebug Designs, and today we're going to be working with the super cute cutie Kadoodles pumpkin bear, devil pumpkin bear. Super cute, right? So I have two of them here. I left one so we could add the white at the end on that one. Hopefully I'll remember. Anyways, this one measures 3.5 wide by 3.5 tall. The box with all the pieces and design space measured 6.4 by 8.08, and that's how I got the pieces the size that I wanted. Just make sure you lock that box so all the pieces move together and won't be all wonky. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I do have colors that I used on this, and I'll go over those super quick. The green, I used American Crafts Key Lime, sunflower for the small flame, mustard for the eyes, caramel for the bear, dandelion for the big flame, crimson for the red, graphite for the black pumpkin, crumb cake is going to be for the muzzle and the inner ears. All right, and so I'll go over the inks with you as we get started. So let's go ahead and get started. In this video here today, we're going to do a little different technique. So if you possibly don't have ink pads, or maybe you only have a pen or a marker, or maybe you have a re-inker, you can use all those for the technique I'm going to show you today. We're going to do some inking. We're going to also do the eyes, and the eyes kind of they kind of bleed in when I did them. So I like the way that looked for Halloween. So that we're going to do that. We're going to do the flame. We'll kind of go over everything and the layering all together. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to go over is we're going to start with, let's do the brushed corduroy. So for the bear, I did for the caramel or caramel, I used brushed corduroy distressed ink. You can use any brown. It really doesn't have to be a distressed ink. And all I did was do the circular motion around the head. Now you are going to see this entire head. So you'll probably, if you're wanting to ink, you'll definitely want to do all of it. You know, in some of my videos, I show you, we leave off some of the areas because certain things cover. On this one, I did it all because really you're going to see everything. So you can do it as dark or as light as you want. And let me zoom in a little bit so maybe you will see a little better. So we've got that one done, and I've already prepped all the others with the brushed corduroy. So I want to go move on to the crumb cake. And for the crumb cake, I used crumb cake ink. But since I don't have an ink pad, I just poured out the re-inker. I figured I don't need an ink pad because I'm not going to be inking or stamping any stamps. So why bother? So I just pour a little bit. If you have a tile or your glass tray, you can do a little drop or two, depending on how much you have already on here. And then I just move it around and get it done up. Now, just remember, when you do it that way, it's going to be super dark. So sometimes I'll take just a scrap paper and get the rest off on that. And so you could always do that. So this one I had done with the first one. So I just have what's left on here. And so I'm just going to use that up. I figured I don't want to add more because then it's going to be, it'll be really, really dark. So anyway, so we've got the crumb cake done. Now for the little nose, I did cut that out in that graphite too, as well as the pumpkins. So I'm just going to take a black marker, and actually I did this. We're going to take the black soot, and that's the distressed ink. I can show you that after. Probably should have done this last, but anyways, do the top part of the nose. Come in, I just swoop in and up with the sides. And now your nose is done. So since I've already got black on my hands, we might as well do this pumpkin. So we'll get the pumpkin done and out of the way. I just did circular motion, and I'm not going to take my time here, but you can. And only because I'm trying to get a lot of this done, and so we can move on to the little technique that I want to show you. Okay, so we've got that part. Now on this one, you could just swoop, just kind of do like so. But on the bottom, I'm going to do a little circular because I want it to be, you know, all nice and filled in a little bit with the, so... All right, so I think that's probably going to be good. So next, what I ended up doing on the pumpkin was I took a marker, and it really doesn't matter what marker you take. I wanted the edge to be darker, and so this is how I did that. So on the pumpkin, I just come around. And it's not a big deal that I'm making a mess on the tray because now that I've finished that one, I'm going to move it aside, and then I'll just take some rubbing alcohol and just clean this. I kind of use that for cleaning up my tray, and then my hands when I'm doing a video, because I don't have a sink right here by me. And that would just take some time anyway. So, okay. So we've got the blacks done on here. The eyes I did cut out in black for the little pupils. Let's go ahead and do the green and get that one out of the way. So on the green, I did use certainly celery. This is an old Stampin' Up color. Just pick, you could pick any greens. Oops, and you probably want to hold that down a little bit here. So you could always use a little tool to hold these down. And my little stem kind of, okay. So we have that. So the next one I'm going to do is I want to use the marmalade. It's just a distressed ink. You can pick any orange really. And then I'm just going to do the little flame piece. So that way all our pieces are done. So now on the smaller one, on these, I did use Barely Banana. Again, I just used the little re-inker and then just did, but I don't think we really need to on that. So I'm going to just leave that alone. Let's see, that one goes with, oh, this one right here. Because we're going to use some different stuff on that. So I think why even bother inking it up? So we can just leave the yellow the way it is. And these kind of go like that. Okay, so I think we've got all that done. So now we're ready to move on to a little different technique. So I do happen to have the ink pad. I do have the marker, and I don't have the re-inker, but if you did, you could use that as well. I'm also using just a water pen. So there's water inside here. We don't want to use too much. So even if you didn't have a water pen and you have a paintbrush, maybe a fine paintbrush that you can use, something similar to this, I would suggest just having a dab of water to just get that a little wet. And that way you'll be able to wipe up. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. One, if you've got a pen, you'll use the pen, okay? So with the pen, and you can kind of see I did on here already, I came around the edge like so, okay? And then I just took this with very little water and kind of come in. Now, if you're wanting to have it all blended because you're going to really see it, you would want it to be, we didn't soak this, but we want it wet because we're kind of water coloring here, okay? So now let's say you don't have the pen and you have an ink pad, you can do the same thing. Take the brush, get it done up really well, that tip, like so, and use this around your edge, but with no water. So really we're working with just the ink. And then come in and bring in some color. Okay, so that way it's kind of shaded. So that's a couple different ways you can do it. If you have the the marker, mine's an old one. So we'll do the little paw pad right here. So with the marker, I just come around, and then once it dries, we'll come over around again. You know, come around the edge, because I like when the edges are done. Just really nice. Okay. So this one will have to dry, but if we don't have time, and knowing me in the video, I'll probably forget, but you'll want to do this once it dries. I'm doing it right now because I already know I'll probably just forget to do it. So now you'll want to let these dry. They are going to be a little wet. And so you'll definitely want to let them dry and then come back and use them. But since I'm doing a video, I really can't do that. So we will end up using them however they are. And that's fine with me. Okay, because I think I'll have 3 of these done up. Oh my, I've got ink everywhere. So that's another reason. If you let them set and dry, you can wash your hands really good and then come back and everything will be dried and ready to go. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and start layering, because I think we've done, and I think I've went over all the pieces with you. So on this, the first thing we want to do is we want to get our ears down. I'm going to use some art glitter glue. You can choose any of the glues that work well for you, or the ones that you like best. I just use this one. I can find these on Amazon. I probably could have put a link for you guys. I forget. Some of my videos don't even have any links in them, only because I've had a lot going on. So I just wanted to make sure the video got, up so you guys can see it. I do try to go over everything. If you have any questions, you can, drop those below and I'll get to those. Okay, so we've got our ears on. So we want to put the little inner ear too, okay? So we're going to just get that one on and we'll put that one on. All right, so we've got the ears. We're going to put the left green on and the flame. So this is the green for the pumpkin. So I want to get that on. And now this little tool I'm using, before I forget, is the Viker tool. I have links in a lot of my videos on all the tools and the brushes and everything. And I will try to remember to get that all put in this video. That way, if you're wanting to find them, to find them easy, you'll be able to. Okay, so I think this is our piece. So we're putting on this flame. These little cutie KaDoodles are so cute. I love doing the eyes on them. Okay, and so we're going to add that yellow part of the flame. So if you're watching on a cell phone, you'll want to click full screen. And the way to do that is in your right corner, there's a little white lined box. You just click that. It'll give you full screen and you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing right here on the tray. I try to make sure, because I can kind of see when I'm out and when I'm in, and I'm like, okay, got to make sure I'm in so you guys can see everything. All right, so we have that done. And so, don't worry if your backer piece kind of shows. You can always come in later with some fine scissors and clip whatever away if it bothers you. Or you could, with this backer, I can't come in with the orange and do it. If it was white, I would be able to. All right, be able to distress, sorry. Okay, so we have the left green and the flame on. And now we want the right flame up here. So we want to get this one on. And so let me grab this. So we'll go ahead and get that put on. So now if you're not going to add any of the confetti on this yellow, you can distress it. If you don't have confetti, because we'll be doing that later, you can always use something else, and I'll kind of go over that with you. Some other things you can possibly use that you may have in your stash. Okay, so we have that on. Let's get the left black pumpkin on. So we have him ready. We can bring this over here. I am actually going to add the glue to the back of the pumpkin. A lot of times I'll just add it to the backer. And then we're really just trying to line up this bottom and center this top. And so that's really what we're looking for on this when we're adding the piece to the backer, is just lining up. I've used some of these on some of the little gift bags. I'll probably, if I have time and I feel like this video is not like super long, I'll show some of those at the end of what I've done with these little SVG pieces for my grandkids. So we've got our left pumpkin on. We're going to also, let's get the left little flame on here. That way we've got that done too. So we're going to be adding those right about here. And so you've got one right there. Now this one's done a little differently. Oops, let's move it out and off and then bring up a little bit. Okay. Okay. And then just wipe up that glue. I know sometimes when I'm doing the videos, I'm like super messy, you guys. I think when I'm not doing them, I just take my time, you know, and I have, you know, when you're doing the video, you really, I don't want to sit here and do all the pieces with you, because that would probably get a little boring for you. Okay, so we've got the flame on this side on there. Let me get a drink really quick. So we are going to do the right arm and the sleeve. So on this one, you're going to notice, if you have this file, you're going to have a big arm and a little arm. The little arm is considered this right arm for that. Now, since our pieces are dry, you could come back in with your marker and give a nice little outline if you want. So it's really up to you, or you could leave it the way it looks. So that is going to go right here. So it is going to have a little showing for the hand, because I'll show you how we're going to place this. So we're going to just take that and we're lining up the thumb here and this to the bottom of this opening right here. Okay. So we kind of want to make sure that's all covered, because once the hand's on, it's going to cover. And if you're not sure if you've got it where it is, you could always just kind of lift your piece up and see. And even though I wear glasses, sometimes I'm off. So, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to get this little sleeve on. That's the little outfit. Super cute. So if you noticed on my hands, I only did the parts we're going to see when I distressed them. When I used the brush corduroy, just so you know, I kind of wanted to go over that with you. Okay, so the right arm, we're going to do the right green stem. So that's the one that's going to go here for this pumpkin. Okay, so that one's right here. And we really want to move that up. And that one we do want to line up as best as we can. Now, if you really didn't want to deal with that, you could always just cut that little piece off. But I feel like it gives it a little reinforcement. So that's another reason why I keep using the backer. I like that it reinforces, and you know, the pieces seem to stay, I don't know. I find that the pieces stay a lot cleaner, you know, the backs of them. I guess it doesn't matter, but anyways, that's kind of, I like having them here. And it's nice because it just guides to where things are, and you really don't even, once you've done one of them, need to look, because you'll pretty much know where they go on here. Whoops. Okay. So after time, oh, there we go. So that's a little guy. Sometimes I lose some of these little guys, but I'm not going to worry about him too much where he's placed. All right. So I've got the oh my goodness. So I've got that on the stem, and we're going to go ahead and let's do the body and the tail, I think. Let's get that one. So this body's still a little wet because this is the one I chose to show the technique of doing the watercoloring. So in order to get it in the right place, or make sure that I have it the way I'm thinking I want it, I take the head, and I'm going to get this head on here. Let's see. I think it's going to, so it kind of tilts up. That's another nice thing, because you know, if you've got these lined up, everything else is going to line up. So you don't have to worry about that, because that's where the band's going to go. But we're thinking that head, I'm thinking, is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is kind of just place this body where I think it's going to look good. And I'm thinking about there is perfect. So we'll just kind of add, I'm just going to add some glue to the back of that and give it a press down so it's where I want it, right? And then we could always under the top, and it's, I could tell that's still a little wet, you guys, but we're going to push it down anyway. So you'll let your pieces set. Could always go on to something else and then come back once these pieces have dried. Again, once they've dried, you'll come back in with a marker, or you can come back in with some ink around the edge to make it a little darker if you want. Okay, so we've got the body on. Oh, the tail. I want to stick that tail in there. Sorry. And I do that quite often. I'm sure if you've seen some of my videos, it's like, oops. So I'm just using the pen. This is the one that's in my glue. Now, you could place these both at the same time. Oh, yeah. See, that's a little wet, you guys. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do with the tail is I'm not going to worry about coming over that. I think it looks pretty good just the way it is with no marker. But I do want some glue on the back. And honestly, your tail can be however you want it on the pumpkin. You know, if you want it coming down more, you can have it coming down. That, to me, that really doesn't matter. You just get it to where you like it and you're good. Okay, so we have the tail and the body. We're going to go ahead and place the little foot as well. So let's get his foot on so we can get that done. Okay, so the foot goes right here. You're going to see the little marking for it. So, whoops, there we go. Okay. And he has a little paw pad. And, let's see, whoops. And his toes. Now, I do have other videos that show me inking the toes. I didn't do that in this one. I tried to have a lot of things prepped in this video so I could spend a little time just showing you some of everything. And that way So, okay, so we have his little foot. Super cute. He's so cute. Okay, so we have the foot pop out in the toes. We're going to do this right pumpkin and the flame as well with this one. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. So we'll just add the glue to the back of this pumpkin really quick. And don't ask me where that came from. That little hair was a fine one. So we want to get this kind of centered. There we go. Let's see if that worked. Push that up a tad. I'm just trying to see how far up I can go without the bottom. All right, I've got a little hair. All right, and then we're going to add this center, and I still see a fine hair. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oops, there's that pumpkin right there. All right. Okay, he's super cute. I love when they come together. All right, we're going to put this little flame right here. And get the center. Get that center one on. I just kind of keep a little rag down here. Okay. With me. Okay, so we've got so we're gonna do the horns and that headband next. So the horns are the ones that are gonna go on first. These ones are dry, so I can come in with the marker and just get that edge done up and see how that looks. I'm gonna show you close up. If you play around with your inks, you'll see. So let's grab one. So see how that looks? And that's not using the ink pad or a dauber. Okay. So we're going to add these to right here. Where is that one? Okay, wait. So this one goes here. Okay. And then of course, you could always come in with a little more glue if you're needing. I find that when I go with a little more, I always have a mess with the glue. So let's see if I can wipe that up. So I've yet to have them fall apart, and I've used them on pretty much everything, all the treat things and such. So let me clean this up a little bit right here. Okay, so we want that headband on as well. I think I'm going to come in with the ink again and just come on that edge. We don't need to do the bottom part of this, but I already did the watercoloring on that. So we'll just clean that a little bit. So we know this band's going to come here and cover. Hopefully I have it in the right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit to the back. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is lift it up so I can just make sure. There we go. So we're just pushing that pretty much to the top of here. And then you could always just take a rag and kind of dab up what you have left. So let's make sure this little head is gonna cover. Yeah, that's super cute, right? Okay, so we're gonna let's do the head first, because that arm comes up top. Now, on my last ones, I actually put the arm on first, left the top of it with no glue, and put the head on after, and slid it under, and then added a little glue to the arm and pressed it down. But I'm going to do in this video, we're just going to do the head first. So we're we're lining up the little side pieces. We don't have to worry too much about that. If we have to come down a little bit, we can. So he has a muzzle that's going to cover this center that's showing, okay? So give it a good press and then grab the muzzle. So on the muzzle, we're going to be sliding in the eyes. And you know what? I want to do those cheeks first, you guys. So let's not do the muzzle yet. So I'm using Stampin' Up's pastels. They're just chalks for scrapbooking. And I'm just going to pick a couple of the pinks and then just do this cheek. So the brush I'm using is this one, a number 6, I think. I think that one's 6. Let's see. Actually, that one's 6. This one's 9. So I'm using a 9. This is the 6. It's smaller. So I'm using that for the cheeks on this piece because I want to cover more area. And I don't have that muzzle on. If I had the muzzle on, I would probably come in with that smaller one just because. Okay, so I just blew off the excess of that. So now I'm ready to add the muzzle on here. So in a lot of my videos, I show leave the top open so you could slide your eyes in if you're doing your eyes like I do. If you do your eyes different, then you won't, you could do them however. So, oops, I kind of have my own little way I like to do my eyes because I like them tilted. So I'm leaving that muzzle up a little bit, as you can see. And then to get my placement for my eyes, I already know these eyes are pretty big on the Cutie KaDoodles. So I could do some big circles with glue. Okay, and then the other thing I do is when I'm using the eyes, if you can tell, there's a little notch here, and then here's the edge. So you can place these eyes however you choose. When I do them, I tend to put them tilted. So I slide my eyes in usually, and instead of leaving them like that, I like to tilt them in and bring this corner up a little bit. So it's at an angle. And then you could kind of see where's your center. You could kind of try to, and then the other thing I do is I like to butt them up to each other. So I not only tilt them up, right, but I always tend to bring them together. So they're both touching. Sorry if I could think. Oh my. So we just have to be careful. We could put, there's indentations that we can put in the paper. So we just want to be careful not to do that too much. If you do, you'd want to do it where we cover. So usually I'll move like right here or in the middle because I know the eyes, this part is going to cover that. So if you're happy with how that looks, you can give that a nice press. Whoops. And you don't want to throw your glue around like me, but okay. So we're going to just get these pieces here. So if you wait to do the inking, so if you come in and you do this inking, you get the inking on this little eye, they will bleed in. And it could be because I've also used the dauber with the ink refill. So it just, when I went ahead and did the glossy accents, I like the way that it bled into the white. I just think it looks really neat for Halloween. So it's kind of fun little thing to do. Oh, this little cardstock. Okay, so we want this one there. Oh, I don't know why I keep doing that. Oops. And then this one had a little piece sticking out too. You can always snip that if you want. If you have, you can grab some little scissors and just kind of, if you've got any of those little pieces that they kind of bug me sometimes, but so we can always just put that one in. Okay, give those a press down. Now, if you want to make sure that muzzle is on, you can come in here. Oh yeah, I could feel that it's got, and then just add a little glue and then give a little press. Okay, so before you do the eyes, whoops, so we have our little nose. Before we start doing this, we want to make sure that that's all dry before using the micron pins, because I've kind of ruined some of mine when they've touched the glue. Okay, so I'm thinking that looks good. He's so cute. All right. So we have that done. Oh, so the only thing I'm missing is we can add the hand. We might as well just add that now, right? We can get this hand on here. There we go. Just make sure it's covering where you want. Okay, let's grab this really quick. Okay, you can give that a press down. All right. And then we have his little arm right here. And I think I just placed it like so. So you can just place that, whatever looks good to you. So I'm just going to add some glue. And then we'll just kind of put it like, whoops, bring it down a little bit. There we go. And, oh, I was going to say, did I do that backwards? I'm going to actually come in with the marker on this guy too. Okay, so then we are ready to do our eyes. And then we'll do some fun glitzing. So, and then we want that to kind of move there. All right. Probably moving, you guys. Oh my goodness. I know I'd like to have my husband do a different camera setup for me, but we haven't really discussed that. We've had so much other things going on. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and let's start these eyes. Now, if you're not sure if these eyes are dry or cleaned up, you can always come in with the tip of this, or you can take a little stiletto just to make sure there's nothing there that's going to get caught on a pen. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do these eyes. We're going to do some black. So I'm going to get some black chalk. I'm using the angled brush. And I'm just going to come in and get some black coming up. And then same with this bottom. And then I just blow off any excess. If you have it where you have too much, you could just come in with a little eraser and erase. I'm using just a craft eraser. I don't know if a regular eraser would work, but if you have like the Stampin' Up pastels and chalks, they do come with an eraser. So sometimes I don't even, if I get it on that white, you could just, there we go. Okay. So we'll just go like so. All right. So depending, there we go. All right. So we're going to start with the micron. Let's go 0.2 micron. We're going to do some little dots here. Super fun. We could add the eyeliner depending on how thick you want the eyeliner. So just remember a 0.2 is thicker than the 0.5. And then the 0.0s are the finest on these microns. So we're just going to add our eyeliner right here. And so when you're doing your eyes, you'll find what you like. So you may not want to Add maybe the black to the bottom of the eyes. You may only want, you know, maybe a little bit coming up. It's really to your preference of what you like. So I'm going to come back in with a little more chalk. Okay. And then I'm also going to add a little red. I add the red up here and then blend it down. So the same thing for this side. And you can always blow off the excess chalk. Okay. And again, if you get any up on this white, you can just take your eraser. If you have a fine eraser, you could use that. There we go. Okay, so now for the lashes, I'm going to go with the 05. And we're going to just, nope, we don't want the 05. What am I thinking? 005. We may end up using that one. Who knows? And I've got ink all over my hand. So we're going to come up here and let's just start these eyelashes. So I like to curl them up and in as I'm starting. And then once I get to the sides, I'll kind of just come straight out. And then once I get to the bottom, I can kind of start curling up again. And then I just curl down right here. So same here. You can kind of, oops. Okay. And then again, we're going to just come and do some curling up. All right, and curl up and then straight out and then curl up. And there you have it. So if you want to come in with more, you can come in with more. I'm thinking that looks good enough. Okay. And we want to add our white. Let's get all this white done. So I'm using the Posca paint pen here. Just going to add some dots on the ears. The eyes, you could add dots now if you want. The nose, I do 3 here. I did a little bit of white on the stem, on the hands. And of course the little toes, try to go a little bit. And then here, 1, 2, 3. And then, and this one, 1, 2, 3, and then just come down. You could kind of just do however. Oops. And just do a little bit there. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. There. I'm thinking that's probably good enough. Okay. So we're going to start with the glitz part of this. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then we're going to be done. So let's go ahead. I am using for this, I'm going to cover up all these yellows with some of the glue. So you just pick the glue you want to use and then just add your glue. Okay, so I'm using, this is Spark. These came from American Crafts. This one's sunflower, but it's really neat. It's like a fine, oh, what do you call this? Like, kind of like confetti, but not, I don't know. It's kind of mixed though. I love the color on that. So this one I like using for the little flame. So it's really fine. Okay, so we've got that part done. I'll pour the rest of that later. So if you want more shading, you can come in with more shading. Now would be the time to do that. So if you want a little more red, you know, it's really kind of up to you. Okay, so now we're going to do the glossy accents and we'll be done. And then I'll show you the paint on the one. So let's just go ahead and flip this upside down, kind of. And then I'm just going to use the glossy accents, and I had a feeling it was going to do that to me. It did this to me yesterday. I was trying to get the eyes done, so I'm just taking the little pen. I don't know. I think I'm going to need to clean this out, so that's probably why. So I'll just take this piece and soak it, the top part of this. Okay, so we're just going to add that glossy accents all over here. And then just set that aside to dry, and you could come back later to it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I probably have done this in some of my other videos, but I'm going to show you right here. I take that Posca pen and then just do the whites. Okay. So you can do them as big as you want or however. So there you go. And so I do hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, you guys give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe. If you have any questions, you can drop those below, any comments as well. And thank you again for stopping by. Have a good day.